Welcome to the Coach Toolbox. This podcast is for coaches, leaders, and learners at all levels in organizations and in all walks of life. Here, you will get just-in-time learning that is research-based and practice-focused. The goal is personal and professional mastery. And now, our session today. I was talking to a friend of mine who is a senior leader in a large organization, and somehow the discussion moved towards wellness. He certainly had heard of the term because it's everywhere these days, but was not quite sure what it meant. So I explained it to him in a way that I understood it. Well, I said, wellness is about looking after yourself in a holistic way so that you can live the life that you want for yourself and your family. I also told him, wellness, you see, it's a personal journey that must be adapted to where you are at in your life now, and it must not look only at health and fitness, but it includes family life and development in personal, professional, and spiritual areas of your life. And it should also include planning finances and having a social life. And I was even about to share some more wisdom when he said, he understood he was really doing well in all these areas. Now, when he said that, I looked at him and hid my surprise because I know he works long hours, spends time even on the weekends on his laptop, and there's no hiding that paunch straining against his shirt. Now, over the last couple of years that I've known him, I know he has put on more than a couple of kilos and also copes with stress by smoking and eating. Not to mention that I was surprised and a bit distressed that he had ordered one of those, fancy cold coffee drinks that have cream on top along with a chocolate croissant. Now, while I was sipping black tea and lusting after that chocolate croissant within me, I didn't want to let the topic slip. So I asked him how he'd rate his wellness for 2019. And he said 10 over 10. That completely blew me away, and trying to hold my sanity the best I could, I sought an explanation for this score. And this is what he revealed to me. In 2019, he said, he attended a 2-day personal development workshop sponsored by the company. He participated in a 5K run for charity, which his social group in the company had organized. And he even was very appreciative about a 2-hour session on chair yoga that someone had done for his team in the office. So thanks to the company, he had done personal development, running, and yoga. In addition, he ensured that he had fruits and fresh juice in the cafeteria with most of his meals, and he had attended a health camp held by the company in which the doctor had asked him to get tested for hypertension, diabetes, and thyroid, but he hadn't done this as yet because there was talk that the company would be organizing this in the coming months. But till then, he had shifted from regular Coke to Diet Coke. And in terms of exercise, he played table tennis with his team whenever he got time during breaks. Therefore, he was very upbeat about himself and his wellness score. His self-assessment knocked the wind out of me. I was in shock. If your own assessment or focus on wellness is similar to that of my friend, then this episode is for you. And please share this episode with members of your team, friends, and family, because I'm going to talk about stuff that is very important and very simple, and I'm really not going to knock down anybody and give you stuff to do. That's just impossible. I appreciate that your lifestyle, your work schedule really does not permit you to make dramatic changes, at least in this quarter. I get that. So I'd like to encourage you to take some really easy steps that won't involve dramatic changes, yet will start you on the journey for some great results towards wellness. Now, the first and foremost is a key mind shift that you need to make is this. You and I know we cannot depend on the company for our wellness. You cannot be like my friend. We cannot depend on the company for our wellness. Your wellness has to be your own responsibility and cannot be delegated to the company or anyone else. You don't delegate the responsibility of looking after your family, your finances, or your home to anyone else.
So why do you think your own personal wellness can be looked after by your company? You must be your own Chief Wellness Officer, your own CWO or Chief Wellness Officer. Of course, let's be grateful for the events that your company lines up, but those events cannot be your own wellness plan. Your wellness is a lifestyle that you customize to suit your own values, and at various points in time, the focus areas of these 8 dimensions that I spoke about earlier, these 8 dimensions of wellness can differ. However, the one area that you and I must never ever lose focus on is physical health and fitness. And this includes exercise, or a term that I prefer these days more than exercise is movement, and nutrition. But here's the insight that you must appreciate. Look after your own wellness as your own CWO, Chief Wellness Officer. This is part of your role as a leader in your team and your organization. You look after your company's clients, you look after your company's intellectual property, you look after your projects and team. So it's also part of your role to look after yourself. This is your leadership responsibility. You not only owe it to your company, but also to your family and most of all, to yourself. Research clearly shows that if you do not focus on your own wellness first, then there is a lot of loss of productivity, loss of creativity at the workplace, and you end up creating stress for your team and damaging the wellness of your team. So you need to become your own CWO with as much passion as you can as you manage your clients and the projects for them. So the first thing I want to encourage you to do is to take on the role of being your own CWO. And step one in this, as you take over this new role, is being aware. Being aware. Awareness is the first step of your new role as CWO. Take an honest look at the 8 dimensions. I spoke about them at the start of our conversation today, and select 2 or 3 that are critical for you at this point in time. To ensure that you don't have any blind spots like my friend, check with your spouse or family members or a few close friends of yours on the areas that they would suggest that you focus on. Or ask your coach if you are working with a coach. Or look in the mirror. Check with your shirt button. Is it really straining? From my side, in this episode, I'd like to encourage you to look at physical health by managing 2 parameters: movement and nutrition. Movement and nutrition. And I don't mean go on a diet or go to the gym. It's much easier than that. And these ideas will start making you feel good about yourself, and then you will feel more positive about taking whatever next steps you think will work for you. Remember, you're your own Chief Wellness Officer. You've got to design a plan that you think will work for you. So as your own CWO, here are some quick tips that won't disrupt your schedule, but will start giving you good results and start making you feel great about yourself. The goal is for you to make healthier eating and drinking choices within your current context. So here are some tips that you can start right now. Start number 1, start drinking lots and lots of plain water. Good old plain water. Choose drinking water over the next cup of tea or coffee, or especially diet sodas. And it really doesn't matter if you shift from sugar variation to a diet soda. Diet sodas are equally dangerous and damaging to your health. Next is, don't go on a fad diet such as a keto diet or a diet that someone has worked for someone else or one that's trending on YouTube. Don't do any of these. Don't do any of these right now. Don't think diet as in reducing food intake or starving yourself, because it's not going to work perhaps more than 2 days. Think healthier nutrition. Healthier nutrition means you need not go hungry, but you make wise choices in terms of what you put in your body. Wise choices in terms of what you put in your body. Follow the eliminate, restrict, and add steps. Eliminate, restrict, and add steps. I'll explain this. Eliminate food options such as carbonated beverages, biscuits, pastries, fast foods such as pizzas, burgers, processed snacks such as chips and anything that comes in a packet and variants, and all these sort of fast food sort of thingies. Eliminate all of them. Restrict intake of tons of chai and coffee, especially if they're sweetened, alcohol and nicotine, excess carbohydrates such as rice and chapatis, and processed meats, fast foods, red meat. So there's eliminate of fast food and carbonated beverages, restrict intake of alcohol and excess carbohydrates such as rice and chapatis, and processed meats and red meats, and add lots of pure water, salads, vegetables, fruits, pulses, and so on. So you learn to eliminate, restrict, and add. And these are things you can do at your cafeteria, at the party. These are choices you need to make. Ask your spouse or family member to support you on this process of what to eliminate, what to restrict, and what to add. The secret, you see, is for you to take ownership of your food intake. You must take ownership of your food intake, and you start by doing some research around the subject so that you can make wiser choices in the buffet line at the cafeteria or at the office party. Number 3, as much as possible, don't have a heavy dinner and then go to sleep within the hour. All those calories find their resting place on the waistline. So make some changes in your lifestyle so that you are able to eat at least 3 hours before your bedtime. To do this, you certainly have to make some changes in your lifestyle. For example, you may not be able to watch late night TV every night or meet friends for drinks every evening. Another simple wellness practice is to get about 7 hours of sleep each day, and to do this by sleeping at the same time each night. Now, some of these things are sounding pretty radical to you, but hold on, give it some time. Hear me out completely and then look at how you're going to adapt these ideas. Not everything in one day, but as much as possible by taking baby steps. Number 4, you may not have time to get exercise at the gym each day, but certainly getting in as much movement during the day by walking is a great step forward in your own wellness. So walk as much as you can. If you have that Fitbit thing and you're tracking 10,000 steps, fantastic. Do that. Get movement in. You may not be able to go to the gym, but have meetings or one-on-ones that include walking. Ask whoever you're meeting with to take a walk up and down the corridor, walking trail. Just step outside and walk. You don't have to walk as if in a race. Even a leisurely pace is way better than just sitting. So focus on getting in as much movement, especially if you struggle with getting regular exercise. Now, if you're listening and thinking that all this is not going to be possible, at least for the next few months, till this particular project gets over, you're not sure how it's going to happen, well then, if you're listening so far, here's a radical idea. Try this and lots of other things will fall in place. And here's my radical idea. It is take digital breaks during the day. Take digital breaks during the day. Perhaps you can leave your phone behind while going for lunch or while taking a 15-minute walk during the day or your evening walk. It may surprise you to know that work and life goes on if you give yourself a digital sabbatical of 15, 20, 30 minutes to start with. Take some alone time breaks and find spaces for quiet time. About 10 to 30 minutes during the day, as much as possible during the week. You could just sit by yourself in a cafe or a mall or in the library or in a meeting room without digital stimulation, without your headphones on, without even listening to music or anything else. Just give your mind quiet time. These practices will give you time for self-reflection and awareness. It will give you space for creative ideas to bloom in your mind. You cannot get creative insight if your mind is continually stimulated by some or the other digital content. Create time to hear yourself. That's when the magic happens. And then the fantastic thing is, you're not trying to create extra time for meditation or yoga or any other physical exercise. Whatever you're doing at work, at office, in your space, all I'm saying is do it for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes minus digital distraction, minus those earbuds in your ears. And as you start doing this, you will see the tremendous benefits in quiet, in calm, in ideas, in creativity coming to you. Now, as we conclude, you will need to make certain trade-offs for your own long-term wellness. The process is not magic and it's not easy, nor will it happen automatically without making choices that are, well, not hard, but they're choices that you need to make. Because you're your own chief wellness officer. Now, as the CEO of your company or project or team, you don't expect a magic carpet ride. So let's not be so naive that your role as CWO is also easy. You do have to make some choices. But what I encourage you to do are ideas that you can implement without missing a beat in your current lifestyle. That's the entire objective of our conversation today. And it's worth it because it invests in your greatest asset, you. So do let me know on LinkedIn comments or by email how you're doing in your new role as your own CWO. And do share ideas that will help other CWOs too. Good luck.
And that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Please connect with us on coachtoolbox@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, and review this channel. Details of our ICF-approved coach training programs and our services as executive coaches and coaching supervisors are on www.globalcoachtrust.org. See you in our next session.